Hi, I'm Russell from the Family Tent Shop, and here we are looking at a brand new tent for 2020 called the Studland 6 Air. Now, Kampa up until this point have produced a range of tents that were called Air Pro. They've dropped the word Pro as they sort of felt it wasn't necessary anymore. And so this essentially is in that same sort of collection in terms of things like the materials being a 150 denier fabric, 6,000mm waterproof standards, things like the storm straps that you get on the front of the tent and on the side of the tent that all come as standard, dark bedrooms, zip up curtains on the windows, pockets that you get internally, things like that are all, as I say, have all remained unchanged. But this particular model, the Studland 6, is a brand new tent, as I say, for 2020. They have had a tent called the Studland 8 Air, which still exists in the range, but where they have changed predominantly is that they now have a zip-on side annex option. So basically there is a zip behind this sort of what was the side door, or is the side door of the actual tent. There's a zip there, and you can now add on this, it's got a steel pole, this sort of annex to the side of the tent. That, as I say, that will fit both the 6 and the 8 version. Now, apart from that, the two tents are very similar. The 8 is just a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit bigger in the living space and a little bit bigger in the porch. The width for the tents is actually the same, so the bedroom sizes at the back are identical, and as I say, the overall width of the tent remains the same. The 8 would have another bedroom in this space here, which you can get as an optional extra, which obviously would seem a bit sort of pointless because you might as well just buy the 8 in the first place. But you can, as I say, can get that even for the 6 one. But yeah, you have these 3 bedrooms at the back, of which you have the one on the left is 140 centimetres wide, the one in the middle is 160 centimetres wide, and the one on the right is 140 again. So all 3 bedrooms are nice and spacious and give you plenty of room for any kind of sort of sleeping option, whether it be a camp bed, a self-inflating mat, as you can sort of see in that middle bedroom there, or indeed sort of some of the air beds, even if it was the double height ones. The bedrooms are nice and deep, so you've got plenty of space again to fit into any kind of any of the sort of bedroom options in there, and they're sort of really quite upright at the back, so you've got sort of sort of plenty of space within those bedroom pods. As you can see, they're also very dark, so when you sort of go into that sort of bedroom there, as I am now, sort of, yes, we're indoors, so that obviously has an impact, but they are very, very dark material on the bedrooms as well. You've got little storage pockets in the side of the bedrooms, which is pretty handy for things like mobile phones and wallets, etc. You've got sort of a nice sort of tent tidy that comes as part of the tent there, where you can sort of store bits and pieces. And then, as I say, you've got this sort of really nice big sort of internal sewn-in ground sheet living area. Nice easy entrance to the tents. That's a new feature for 2020. So they did have the drop down front essentially on this one section there, but they've now sort of extended it across, so it sort of makes the whole, if you want that wider entrance, which you can have, obviously you can zip that panel there across one more section and essentially just give yourself a J door. But if you do want it nice and open, then you can have that all pegged down and create a nice sort of easy entrance into the thing without any sort of trip hazard. You would get a ground sheet into this porch area. That's like a bathtub type ground sheet which goes into this sort of space. So you do get that ground sheet which goes into that space there as well. And as you can see on the front of that, there is a zip on this front panel. So again, this is on the sort of like, it's essentially like double opened, but you could open it all the way past that window and make it completely open at the front there. So you can get an awful lot of through flow of air into the tent and a lot of ventilation, and can make it very open plan if that's how you want it to be. When you look at the windows for the Studland range, they have zip down curtains, but they also have on the front 2 sort of windows, they've got zip panels which allows sort of mesh. So again, from the perspective of ventilation and like reducing things like condensation, really good for that. So you can get a nice amount of air coming into the tent. Having a look at this sort of additional side pod. As you can see, it just has an internal door. You can't access it from the outside. There is a ground chute, as you can see, that comes into that sort of part there as well. And it is what's called wardrobe pole ready. So there are little tabs there, sort of like that the wardrobe pole can hook into, and then that space could be used as I say for that particular purpose. Alternatively, you could use it maybe as a toilet area or just as another sort of storage space. The on the other side you have a mosquito netting door, so you have got an entry exit point on there, and you can just sort of see there as well that is covered. So there is a pole that sort of covers that as like a rain cover, so there is protection on that door if you were to use that for entrance exit. Other features in the air range, but particularly the Studland, you've got things like mains cable entry points. You've got the facility to run the cable up along these Velcro tabs, so they sort of keep it nicely out of the way. And there is also Velcro already on the tubes, ready for their flex light system, which, as you can see over there, is already fitted on and gives off a fantastic amount of light. You have got another sort of vent at the top there, so you can get a free flow of air into through the tent there, so you get that high and low ventilation. There is ventilation also at the back of the bedrooms as well. On the front of the this range, of the Studland range, there is an additional zip, and so you can add on an additional canopy that can fit onto the front of that. So if you wanted this, what is already a very large tent, to be even bigger, you can do that. You can also buy what's called a mesh vestibule, which will fit either onto the front of that additional canopy or could fit onto the front of the tent. So if you wanted this front porch area to have mosquito netting, if you're going somewhere where maybe sort of in Scotland or somewhere abroad where you wanted sort of to be protected from mosquitoes or from midges, and you wanted that protection on the front there, then you can get a mesh panel that sort of goes over the top of that and will fit onto there. That is, as I say, is an additional extra. Here on this side we can see the storm straps, sort of how they work. As I say, they're already fitted on to the tent directly, and just makes the tent much more stable, much stronger in the elements. So as I say, this is the Studland 6 Air. There is a Studland 8 Air, which as I say has got that extra bedroom, and these are just a fraction sort of bigger, and they also do both these tents in classic polycotton version as well. I'm Russell from the Family Tent Shop.